welcome to your favorite YouTube channel, Nation's Voice Tower. My name is Angelo Himalayas, your anchor. Today, I have two trending videos for you, and I bet you what, you're going to enjoy these videos, of course, if you've been following the trend of events. Yes, it's another edition of What's Trending today, and I know you are also glued to your screen waiting for me. Listen, let me tell you something very, very important. Yes, the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Gregory Obi and his running mate Deputy Ahmad Baba have just touched down in Ogun State. All right. Yes, today is the turn of the people of Abeokuta to host the Labour Party presidential candidate. And all of you are shaking to hear what's happening in Ogun State right now. Now, let me make you wonder the more. Well, Peter Obi confirmed his arrival in Ogun State through his via his official Twitter handle when he wrote, he said, let me quote him. Okay, let me quote him. He said, "We just arrived in Abeokuta, Ogun State for today's rallies and other engagements. I am looking forward to it all. We come in peace." That was what the Labour Party presidential candidate posted on his official Twitter handle today, like some minutes ago. So right now, Obi, that is Peter Obi, actually had is having the rally at the Ake Palace Square. All right, and then he's also supposed to have a town hall meeting with stakeholders before his departure. All right, of course, he will also visit President Olusegun Obasanjo, who endorsed him some many weeks ago, and then he has few other engagements before he leaves. If you have been following the trend of events, you will see and know that Peter Obi has been visiting two states in a day recently. All right, as at yesterday he was in Abia State and Ebonyi State. So today he's in Abeokuta, Ogun State, and then we will see the next state Peter Obi is going to. That is that for the first video. If you see the massive crowd that received Peter Obi in Abeokuta, you will be shocked. You will think he's a Yoruba man. But man, I tell you what, Peter Obi is really shaking Nigeria and is turning it down upside down. All right. Well, it's left for us to see if the high turnout or the massive turnout of people or the population of Nigerians at each of his rallies, especially like the ones in Ebonyi State yesterday and the one he garnered today and in Abeokuta, is left for us to see if whatever they have come to hear from him will be seen in the polls on 25th of February. The next video is an analytical video that is coming from Arise News. All right. Now, Arise News have come out to really make an analysis of what Nasir El-Rufai said days ago. All right. Yes. Now, if you've been following the trend of events, Nasir El-Rufai came out some days ago. I brought you an update and made some funny comments, especially about what the president feels, and then about Peter Obi calling him a Nollywood actor, and then Nasir El-Rufai still went further to express what I could term as fear over what the Labour Party presidential candidate has been up to. Okay, and he also expressed his own portion of his perception on the extension of the submission of old Naira notes and the new Naira notes. Now, talking about this particular incident, or this the just trended video of Nasir El-Rufai, is a spokesperson of the Atiku Presidential Campaign Council, Daniel Bwala. Yes, if you've been following trending videos and if you've been following politics all around Nigeria recently, you would know Daniel Bwala as one of the spokespeople or spokespersons of the Atiku Presidential Campaign Council. Now, first of all, let us look at the video of Peter Obi in Abeokuta and see the massive love he garnered from the people of Abeokuta at the Ake market, at the Ake Palace Square. I beg your pardon. Watch it and enjoy the arrival of the Labour Party presidential candidate and his entourage. I'll be back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome our presidential say that this year's election will make them character control. Yes! And that character begins by knowing who we are.
Yes, so, my president too fresh, I bet.
It's known by everybody.
That was Peter Obi. Of course, Nigerians are not only clamoring for good governance, Nigerians are not only clamoring for a good government, neither are Nigerians only clamoring for a revolution, okay? Well, someone said to me yesterday in an interaction that, well, he is planning to vote Peter Obi, even if not for any reason. He said he's planning to vote him because he's a new person to that seat. All right, he said they've heard a lot about Tinubu, they've seen enough of Atiku Abubakar, and then they are going to try a new person, which is Peter Obi. So that is his own opinion. People tend to kind of transfer the massive love they've got for other presidential candidates to the Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi. Well, it is left for us to see where he ends up come the 25th February. I will continue to bring you more updates as he goes from state to state to really put thrilling ideas into the population of Nigeria over time before the campaign times and the rally times do close. All right. The next video I told you about is coming from Daniel Bwala, a spokesperson of the PDP Atiku Presidential Campaign Council. Now, Daniel Bwala came out to really say or draft or kind of draft out gradually the analytical part or the political part of whatever Nasir El-Rufai said in his trending video a few days ago. Well, first of all, I will allow you to watch Daniel Bwala in what he said and then listen carefully. After listening, we will come back and then we will talk one or two things about this video. First, before we go, credits to Arise News. Before I allow you to watch that video, credits to Arise News for allowing us to tap from that video for illustration purposes. Watch Daniel Bwala. When you come back, we'll talk about it.
Well, the comment of El-Rufai isn't a surprise to me because first, he is an APC governor, and two, he has interest in delivering Tinubu at all cost. So, and desperate people do desperate things, as is often said. There are so many things in what he said that can be faulted. One is the allegation against the president that the Nigerian people are suffering and the president, that is by innuendo, didn't seem to have the feeling of the suffering of the masses. Let me state this, that if there is anybody who cares so much for the masses, I think it's the president over and above the governors, because the impression they create is that they are governors in their domain and have a feeling of the sufferings of the people. So let's be clear that if the governors care about the people, they have had so many Paris reforms and revenue, that was accrued to their respective states. They could have used that to establish structure and patterns that will give deliverables to the people. Secondly, those who are complaining about this restriction on the Naira are rich men who have stashed money allegedly in various safe locations across Nigeria. In fact, they've gone to the extent, from what we're hearing, of influencing sponsored dramatism, where you find in pockets of places people dramatizing suffering. And then you see even sponsored protests in order to blackmail the president. Because you need to know, Mr. Charles, that this policy was introduced 3 months ago. It was ample opportunity, just like in the case of NIN, for people to be able to mop up. Admittedly, Nigerians are suffering, but the suffering, like the president has said in the statement issued today, is occasioned by still these politicians mopping up the capital in conjunction and collaboration with the banks, thereby frustrating access to the funds by the common people. That's why the president said today, when they came to seek for extension, his statement is very clear. He is not extending anything. However, the remainder of the 10 days, which is 7, they are going to embark on a crackdown on banks and individuals that are frustrating the access to the funds by the common people. Like I said, desperate people do.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Nation's Voice Tower. Yes, you watched Daniel Bwala in his analytical video there for Arise News, on Arise News. Yes, let us talk first. Now, categorically, The first point there is the allegation against the president by Nasir El-Rufai, saying, although by innuendo, that the president didn't seem to have a feeling of the suffering of the masses, okay, by not really listening to the extension of the collection of old Naira notes and the extension of the Naira note saga, all right? Well, let us take it or leave it. The president has a plan, I believe, and politically, I want you to look at it critically. The president seems to live by his promise, or live to want to fulfill his promise of giving Nigerians a free and fair election. All right, and that is what is making, or that seems to be what is making the president really get adamant on the Naira note saga. All right, of course, there have been pleas recently that he should extend the date beyond the preferred, or they said the said 10th February date, okay? But the president, and especially from the CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele, he has come out to say no to any form of extension. He says the deadline of 10th February stands. Now, this first point brings us to the second point. Why is the president and his CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele, why are they adamant over this? Now, that brings us to the second point. Now, those complaining about the Naira are rich money bags, rich politicians, rich people that have stocked up funds and are afraid to lose it. Okay? Yes, they are afraid to lose it. Why? I think, let me bring your mind a little bit down to the political aspect of this whole thing. I think the president is trying to curb vote buying in a way. All right? Yes, the president is trying to curb vote buying in a way because during the elections, when you leave a kind of massive flow of cash, then there will be a high level of vote buying. Okay, but when this particular money that people have has been rendered useless, that means you will no longer be able to cash in on big amounts of money during the elections, and then vote buying will be kind of negative, all right, or will be subsidized. Of course, if you can't give somebody money, physical money, where he could say it, I guess you won't be able to buy his vote, his loyalty, and his dignity. Of course, especially most politicians, let me shock you, have gone to the extent of sponsoring a sort of dramatic complaints on internet and online, and they've even gone as far as sponsoring doctored protests to ensure that the government listen to this plea of the Naira saga extension. Okay, well, we hope to see if President Muhammad Buhari and Godwin Emefiele would stand by their own decision not to extend it beyond 10th February. I hope these videos were actually helpful to you, and I really want you to give us your comment in the comment section, like this video and share it too to Nigerians abroad, at home, I beg your pardon, and those in diaspora, because it is by liking and sharing this video that YouTube gets to recommend it to people all over the world, because that is one of the theories, or that is one of the rules of YouTube. Okay, please don't get away from Nation's Voice Tower. We thank you for your patronage over time, and we'll always bring you the best. From us here, we're drawing the curtain. Peace out.